Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. So Hare Krishna, dear Prabhuji's dear devotees, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, and we read the 42nd and 43rd verse. They were together in our last session. So now we are reading the 44th verse, another very, very beautiful verse and a very important concept and information Lord Shri Krishna is giving to Arjun ji. So Lord Shri Krishna, he says, Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Prahita Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadho Na Vidhiyate. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया प्रहित चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधो न विधीयते. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया प्रहित चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधो न विधीयते. So bhoga, material enjoyment, aishwarya, opulence, prasaktanam, those who are so attached, taya, by such things, aprahita chetasam, apahirta chetasam, bewildered in mind, vyavasayatmika, fixed determination, buddhi, devotional service of the Lord, samadhu, in controlled mind, na, never, vidhiyate, does take place. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So, very wonderful verse. And in the purport, Swami Shrila Prabhupada explains, Samadhi means fixed mind. The Vedic dictionary, the Nirukti, says, Samyag adhiyate asmin atma tattva yathamayam. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is called Samadhi. Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment, nor for those who are bewildered by such temporary things. They are more or less condemned by the process of material energy. They are more or less condemned by the process of material energy. So, Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam, Bhoga, material enjoyment, Aishwarya, opulence, Prasakta, Asakta, attachment. So, Prasaktanam, those who are so attached, Taya, by such things, Aprahita Chetasam, Chetasam, the Chetana or the mind is very much bewildered. Aprahita Chetasam, bewildered in mind. Vyavasatmaika Buddhi. So Lord Shri Krishna, from past two verses, he started explaining Vyavasatmika Buddhi, resolute Krishna conscious intelligence. Lord Shri Krishna proposed Arjun ji that you should be equipoised in happiness and distress, in victory or defeat, in loss or gain. You should be equipoised and you should fight only for the sake of fighting. And he is explaining Buddhi Yoga. Karma yoga or buddhi yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. But one can perform action in Krishna consciousness, or one can act for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, only when one has resolute determination, vyavasayatmika buddhi. And in the previous verse, Lord Shri Krishna explained that even the so-called followers of the Vedas, they do not understand the real purpose of the Vedas, that is satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Every living entity was engaged. Those who are there in this material world, this Vedic science, Shruti, Smriti, Agam, Nigam, they are meant for all the fallen souls who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord, and because of which they are under the grip of or under the control of the material energy, and they are bewildered. They are completely in ignorance, they are completely bewildered, and they are working for their own, thinking themselves to be Lord. Every living entity in this material world, they are thinking themselves to be the Lord, or they want to become Lord of what all they survey, and there is a competition going on. And because Ananda is eternal nature of every living entity, because every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord who is Sachidananda. So Ananda is eternal nature of every living entity, but in ignorance one is bewildered by material enjoyment, because Ananda is everyone's need. That has to be understood, that it is everyone's need. Need is not condemned, but greed is condemned. What is condemned is greed. People who are so greedy, people who are so lusty, they are condemned. So bhoga aishwarya prasaktanam, those who are too much attached, prasaktanam, asakti, those who have asakti for, those who do not have asakti for the Supreme Lord. In the spiritual world, the living entity was attached or attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was engaged. Every living entity, every living being was engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, who is very much attractive. And every living entity was attached to the Supreme Lord and to his devotional service. But in ignorance, all of us, because Ananda is our eternal nature, Ananda is our need. And because we consider ourselves to be body, gross and subtle body, so we are so much after in this material world, especially in Kali Yuga, we are so much after material enjoyment, which are meant for the satisfaction of gross body and mind, gross intelligence, gross ego, and it actually do not satisfy the soul. So Lord Shri Krishna here he is describing Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Aprahita Chetasam. Prasaktanam, those who are so attached, Taya, by such things, Aprahita Chetasam, bewildered in mind. Taya Aprahita Chetasam, or bewildered in mind, Swami Shrila Prabhupada is explaining. Vyavasatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, who are attached and who are getting bewildered, they are thinking, they are giving too much importance to such enjoyment. In the spiritual world, enjoyment was coming from the Supreme Lord. But now, Because we are forgetful of the Supreme Lord, we are giving so much importance to the enjoyment, which is actually material in nature. In this material world, all the enjoyment, even if one goes, yesterday also we were discussing, even if one goes to heavenly planets, or one get association of an angelic woman, Swami Shrila Prabhupada, he wrote in the previous purport, then also it will come to an end one day. That people are not able to understand. The temporary nature of this material world, the temporary nature of material body, the temporary nature of enjoyment for which we are so much attached or attracted and getting bewildered by such enjoyment. So Vyavasatmika buddhi samadhu na vidyate, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. The resolute determination. So Lord Shri Krishna is explaining, by serving the Supreme Lord, one can come out of all the reactions of work, one can free himself from karma bandham prayahashyasi, karma bandhana. One can free himself from the reactions and one can stop the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. Rebirth and death, one can stop this cycle, one can come out of those kaleshas. But why that buddhi does not come? Why that resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place? Because we are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence. Swami Shrila Prabhupada always gave example. When he was preaching in the Western countries, people already they have taken birth in rich families. They have $1 billion in their account. But even though someone has done sense gratification for the whole life, but still in the old age also, he is not taking to Krishna consciousness. He is going to nightclub. One already has one wife, but he is not satisfied. Or one has married 4 or 5 times, divorcing all the previous wives, but still one is not satisfied. And the same is true for even for the women in that way. So people are so much attached to sense enjoyment and opulence. Though one has become the richest person of the world, but still he wants to double his money. And for that they are engaging into various gambling processes just for enjoyment and just for making easy money. Interested in race course, interested in so many other things. And Swami Srila Prabhupada, he was in his various conversations, he proposed many times. We are giving them chance. Come to us, chant Hare Krishna. We are proposing them chant, but they are also answering can't. Swami Srila Prabhupada sometimes jokingly he explain all those things. That people do not want to, or because they are so much engaged into material sense enjoyment, they do not have time for self-realization, or working in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam Taya Parita Chetasam Vyavasatmika Buddhi Samadho, and Swami Srila Prabhupada he explained in the purport, though very small purport but very very important, very very significant. Samadho, Samadhi. Samadhi is a state when one is in union with the Supreme Lord. And all the practitioners, they practice Samadhi. In the previous ages, we all have heard various yogis, transcendentalists, they used to practice yoga to attain the state of Samadhi when one is in union with the Supreme Lord. And the Nirukti dictionary says that when the mind is fixed for understanding the self, samyag adhiyate asmin atma tattva yathatmayam. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is called Samadhi. Controlling the mind, senses, where the process of yoga was meant for controlling the mind and the senses, because the mind and senses, they are too much attached, because ananda is one's need. That also cannot be completely rejected. That's why legitimate ananda, prasada, legitimate ananda is sanctioned or is authorized ananda as per religion, not irreligiously. Sex is not banned, illicit sex is banned, enjoyment is not banned, but drinking wine and artificially thinking that one is enjoying, but actually one is degrading, wasting money in wine, women, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling. One is not satisfied by by religious way of accepting food. One is not satisfied by vegetables and one want to eat meat to satisfy his tongue. So legitimate enjoyment is not, and one actually gets satisfaction not in bhoga but in prasada. By following dharma, one actually gets artha, and one can satisfy his desires in an authorized way, in a religious way. But people are not satisfied, especially in this age, all of us, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, where we do not have faith in God, where we do not believe in soul or the super soul or the controller, and we want to enjoy, because Ananda is the nature, Satchid Ananda. So we do not want to enjoy Sat, eternal happiness. We are so much bewildered by temporary happiness that resolute determination for serving Supreme Lord does not take place. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is called Samadhi. Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment, nor for those. So those who are interested in only in material sense enjoyment, they do not take up to Krishna consciousness or activities of Krishna consciousness, activities for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Swami Shrila Prabhupada, he gave example during his preaching. People are thinking, oh, why to waste 2 hours for chanting holy name? Better go to night club and enjoy there. Better go to a race course and enjoy there. Double your money, enjoy your senses. So Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment, nor for those who are bewildered by such temporary things. So those who are only interested in material enjoyment and those who are getting bewildered, many people are getting bewildered, those who want to take up to Krishna consciousness, they are also getting bewildered. Many of Many of simple-hearted people, innocent people, by seeing such people, enjoying temporary sense gratification, so they also get bewildered. Sangat sanjayate kama. When innocent people or unintelligent people, when they see others deriving so much pleasure in sense enjoyment, they also get bewildered, and even though they are innocent and they try to make union with the Supreme Lord, or they take up to activities of Krishna consciousness, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, by sadhu sangha, by good association, those who are innocent, they take up to various activities of Krishna consciousness, various activities which are of yoga, real yoga, bhakti yoga, to develop union with the Supreme Lord, Samadhi, to understand oneself, understanding the self, self-realization. So those simple-hearted people who are not very intelligent or who get bewildered by these things, bhoga and aishwarya, they think, yes, there is nothing more than money and opulence and sense enjoyment in this world, and forgetting their temporary nature, that all these things are temporary. And scriptures are proposing, even if you go to the highest planet in this material world, then also one will be subjected to death. One will have other anxieties, kleshas, because this material world is not free from anxiety. So less intelligent class of people, they get bewildered by seeing others. Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment, nor for those who are bewildered by such temporary things. So those who are engaging in sense enjoyment, actually they are giving a wrong lesson to others. Saubhari Muni, a great saint, he was also already the path, because our mind is already, because in the material world everybody is fallen. Everybody has come here for independent enjoyment. Enjoyment is not bad. In the spiritual world, people are always enjoying. People are after money and opulence, but Swami Shrila Prabhupada always he proposed that we are the son of the richest person. That everyone has forgotten completely, and we are loitering in the street. Son of a rich man, Swami Shrila Prabhupada always gives example. The Supreme Lord, all opulence belong to Him. His abode is made of Chintamani, jewel, Chintamani stone, touchstone. So everyone is a son of the Supreme Lord, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And one was deriving the transcendental bliss which is being derived in devotional service of the Supreme Lord is much, much higher than the material sense enjoyment, which is temporary. While happiness or bliss derived because of serving the Supreme Lord, the satisfaction which is derived, the happiness or bliss which is derived by satisfying the Supreme Lord is much, much higher. Brahmbhuta prasannatma na sochati na kangshati. Brahmbhuta prasannatma. In the forthcoming, Lord Krishna will explain. So the enjoyment derived by serving Supreme Lord or by acting with intelligence buddhi yoga or karma yoga is much higher than all the enjoyment, material enjoyment which are temporary in nature and which implicate one in this material world, which implicate one more and more in this material world, and one goes on indulging into fruitive activities, and one is not able to come out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. One is not able to understand himself, his eternal constitutional position, his relationship with the Supreme Lord, his eternal identity, his eternal occupation, his eternal occupational duty, devotional service, his specific devotional service to the Supreme Lord, his relation. So, by engaging oneself into activities of sense enjoyment and running after material opulence, lust and greed, one is not able to fix his mind, or one is not able to get determined, resolute determination of devotional service. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam prasakta asakti Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya parata chetasam vyavasatmaika buddhi vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhu na vidiyate. Samadhi does not take place. But human life is meant for practicing yoga, in which bhakti yoga is the best. So by knowledge, by actions, jnana yoga, karma yoga, buddhi yoga, or by any yoga, one should try to achieve or attain the state of samadhi. Mind, when the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is called samadhi. One should try to understand himself, his relation with the Supreme Lord. And if one does so, then one can open, then the doors of liberation, they become wide open, and one can eternally enjoy, rather than running after bhoga, one can eternally enjoy prasada or mercy of the Supreme Lord in union with the Supreme Lord. Here one is trying to enjoy independently, independent of the Supreme Lord. Even if one get enjoyment in this material world, he do not thank Supreme Lord sufficiently. He thinks that is his achievement. Kartaham iti manyate. One thinks that yes, I have though prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashaha. In this material world also, one whatever happiness, opulence one derives, that is being bestowed by the Supreme Lord through the agency of material nature and kala, time, kal. But one thinks himself to be the doer, and one is fully lost, and one go on engaging in such activities with lust and greed, and one completely forgets the aim of human life, which is samadhi, re-establishing one's relationship by practicing the process of union, understanding the self, understanding the super self, super soul. So they are more or less condemned by the process of material energy. Swami Shrila Prabhupada is explaining. So such people are condemned. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya parata chetasam vyavasatmika buddhi samadhuna vidiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. It's a very beautiful verse. And in the next verse, Lord Shri Krishna, as he started that people are too much attached to the flowery language of the Vedas or the Karma Kanda portion, which are mainly meant for Bhoga and Aishwarya. So Lord Shri Krishna will now ask Arjunji, Traigunya Vishaya Veda. So very, very beautiful verse. Next verse. So in our next session we will take up that verse and we'll discuss, we'll read Swami Shrila Prabhupada's, through Swami Shrila Prabhupada's purport, we'll try to understand various concepts. So till then I would like to stop this session here only, and in our next session we'll take up the next verse and we'll try to understand it. So Jayam Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajacharya Shrotra Shat Shri Srimati Divine Grace Abhay Charnar Vind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ji Ki Jai. All glories to His Divine Grace Abhay Charnar Vind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. All glories to Holy Name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.